Hello, this is a continue to my previous video regarding web content. So in the previous video, we created content that can be shared across different pages and even outside of Liferay. We also talked about templates and how you can use the templates. In this video, we're going to start creating pages and we're going to see how you can add this content on the pages, also creating content that can be only shared on a specific page. So I'm gonna build an example to this. So let's say as an administrator or content creator, I got an example that I need to recreate the home page. I want to have a complete new home page here. So I'm not gonna delete the home page. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna edit the navigation and I will just remove the home page from here. And what I'm gonna do here, you can see the home page is not there anymore. So it's a start from use cases. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go under my site. There is a tab called Site Builder, and then I go to Pages. And here I can create new pages, right? So the first thing I want to do, I'm gonna click Add, and I'm gonna create a new page. So on under Pages here, there is a basic pages, there is widget and content page. So let me talk about this a little bit. So previous to Liferay 7.2, we have only one type of page, which is widget pages. Uh, we still have this until now just for backup compatibility for customer who are upgrading from previous versions, but moving on, we're just going to use content page. In content page, it's not just for content, you still can add application, integrate application. So it's a complete page that have all the feature of widget page plus extra features that we're going to show in the demo. So if you are using Liferay for the first time, you do not need to care much about widget page. You just create page and content page. If you use Liferay previously, widget page is what you used to use, and now content page is the new concept, and that's what you need to use moving forward. So I'm gonna click on content page. I'm gonna name it home, and I'm gonna decide here instead of just adding this page in my uh, page repository and then add it to navigation. I'm just gonna do that in one step. So I'm gonna decide to add this inside my main menu and click add. And you can see now I have my page got created and it's empty, so I can actually start adding content inside it. So the first thing I want to start with is the content that I already created in my previous video. So to do this, I'm going to go to my widget section and I'm going to search for web content display and drag and drop add this here. And inside my content display, I'm going to choose the content that I created previously. Remember, this content can be shared on multiple pages and even outside of Liferay. So I'm going to click on configuration and I'm going to select this content. I know it's the last one, so I'm just going to select the content and click save. And you can see now if I just hit publish, I'm going to go to the pages I created. If I click on view on that one, you can see now I can view the content with the image that I created next to it. So I have the content already published on that page and I can view it here. Let's say I want to start adding other content that stick only to this page, right? Let's see how we can do this. So if I came here on the top hand side here and there is the edit button, but before doing this, I just want the home page to be the first one. So I'm going to edit this and I'm going to my home page and just going to drag this to be on the top. All right, so by doing this, you can see now my home page is the first one. The problem is if I try to, and this is a small thing to show as well, if I try to go to the default tab, it still go to the previous one. And the reason for that is if you went back to your pages, you still see that the previous home page is all the way on the top here, which is usually the top page for Liferay is the default page. So I need to add the new home page all the way on the top. So again, I'm going to drag this all the way on the top here. So this is the new home page. So now if I actually went back to the default tab, and this is now became the default page for Liferay. All right. So by the way, the one other thing I want to just talk about it as well. You can see here the image is actually look pretty big. You can simply go to the templates as a developer and edit your template, make the image smaller, even if it's deployed bigger. So that's all in your hand to control if you want. But just for this demo, I'm not going to care about that now. So I'm going to edit this page, and now I'm going to start adding content that can only be stick to one page. And you're going to see later why sometimes you need to use this content versus content that you can share on multiple pages. So to add content on a page, it has also the same concept as templated content versus content that you can create from scratch. So I'm gonna, and this time I'm gonna use templated content. So I'm gonna go on my section, and here I have templates that I already have, and I'm gonna go section basic section. So this is templates that comes out of the box with Liferay, and there is a cursor here that I want to add, so I'm gonna add this cursor here. And you can see here I have a cursor that have full flexibility to edit it. So maybe I need to start editing the first slide. So I'm gonna double click on this. Takes me to the document repository. I can start using images from Liferay. So I'm gonna choose the image, for example. And I have full flexibility to edit the text now. So I have some text to add here. So all the way on the top, I have one platform, one solution. And maybe on the bottom one, I'm going to add this, right? And here, maybe I want to edit the text of this and say details. And you can see also, I can edit the link, and I can make this go to http www.liferay.com, right? So have full flexibility to edit everything you want. So maybe I'm going to add 3 other slides here. So pretty quick, I'm going to use another image, right? So in this one, I'm going to copy text from here, right? And maybe that one as well. And here another details. So I'm gonna add this details, right? And then finally I have a last slide, but in this one I'm not gonna use an image I have in document repository. I'm gonna deploy one. So I'm going to my folder, and I have healthcare, and I'm gonna add this image. And you can see also I can always if I add an image in Liferay, I can always edit it. We're gonna see this in the next section that you can edit the image. So I'm going to add title, right? And I'm gonna add some text here, right? And you can see here this image has a white background. Maybe I don't want the images to be white. I want them to be dark. So I have flexibility to come here and say, okay, I want the color to be dark. And maybe for this as well, right? And maybe for the bottom part, I want this to be Italian, and I want to have an underline. And maybe I can choose another fonts if I want. So anyway, you have full flexibility to control how that will look like. Okay, so you finish your content, and the nice thing about adding the pages on your content, you basically know how it's gonna look like exactly. So when I publish this is exactly how it was looking while I'm creating the page. You can see I have the 3 tabs here, and I can see exactly how they look like on my pages now. So this is a good way of creating content, stick on a page, so you exactly while you're editing the content, you know exactly how it looks like while you're doing edit. So as I mentioned before, the first thing of creating content on a page is to create it using templates, but you also have the flexibility to control the layout and create content on the page on the fly. So let's do this. So if instead of using section that use templates, I'm going to build my own sections. So I'm gonna go to my section builder, and I'm gonna go layouts, and I'm gonna add this layout here. And inside this layout, I will decide to make it 2 column. And maybe I'm gonna add some spaces around it. So I'm having horizontal and vertical spaces. And you can see here, this content is actually very flexible. I can decide how it looks like. So maybe I'm gonna add image here. So I want this part to have the image, and here I'm gonna have some text. So I'm gonna click on my builder, and here I'm having my basic components, and I'm gonna drag and drop an image, right? And inside this image, I can click edit, and I'm gonna select an image from my document repository. So I have the Gartner image that I used it before. And you can see here, before I deploy the image, I can actually edit it. So I can click on the edit button, and I can decide to do whatever edit I want. I can change the context, I can brightness, I have full flexibility to do any edit I want on this page, on this image. Just for our demo, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to use the image as it is. Add my image now, and here I want to add my text. So maybe on the top here, I need a header, and under the header, I need a separator. And under the separator, I need to add some text, right? So maybe under the header, I need some space, right? So on the header here, again, I'm just gonna copy the same text that I had before for Gartner. And maybe for my paragraph, I'm gonna add also the same text I had here. And also you have full flexibility to decide what you wanna highlight, what you wanna, let's say I wanna add digital experience platform to be a different color, make it bigger a little bit, and maybe make it underline. So you have full flexibility to control how it looks like. And let's say I want the image to be a little bit bigger, so maybe I'm gonna do it this way, so 50-50. So you have full flexibility how your content will looks like. And then after I finish this, I can click publish, and you can see now I created my page. And under my page here, I have the content that I created on the page, and also I have the content that I actually shared it from my web content I created in my previous video and added on this page. This content can be added on multiple pages. You edit it one time, it will be reflected everywhere else, right? The other thing is, if you recall on a previous video, I had enabled related assets. So there is a PDF was related to this content. So if I come here on the edit button and I went all the way down on the content configuration here, I can come and I can say for user tool, I want to define translate, I want to add translation. User can print this content. Also, I can define that I want to add related assets. I can make user be able to comment, rate, and do all of this on this content. So you can enable everything so you can see how it will look like. I'm just going to click save, and I'm going to publish this one more time. If I scroll all the way down, when I enable all of this, you can see I have my content. I actually can see the translation. So if I translate this to French, you can see I can actually see the French translation now. Okay, I'm gonna keep it English here, right? You can also comment here, so I can come and say, add to Neil, please read this content. So by doing add here, Neil will receive notification, right? You can enable all of that. You can also rate the content, right? So all of this will be available inside your content here. Uh, just for our demo, I do not want to enable all of this, so I'm just gonna go back to my content and maybe I'm going to disable all of that. So I'm just gonna disable everything now, right? And click save. So now you can see the content will look like as it was before there was no translation. All right. So with this demo, we showed how you can create a page, add the content that we created in the previous one, add it inside my page. We also created content that stick on the page itself. In the next video, we're going to talk a little bit more on workflows and how you can use workflows to publish content on Liferay. Thank you.